Okay, we're back. Back for part 2. Since this is a big game, it requires a long tutorial. Alright, so we left off last time. We did Euro and the Natives Village. We're in the North Continent. I roughly break the game into 5 continents. You got Southwest where you start, Southeast. The progression of the game kind of goes counterclockwise around the world. So then next would be the Northeast Continent. You have the North Continent and then the Northwest Continent, which has down the pyramid. But we're right in the middle. We're probably about maybe 70% through the game, 60% through the game, something like that as far as everything that we've found. Let's pull up our tracker again. We would have gotten 2, we would have gotten 3, we would have gotten 4 already. 4 was Sandfingers. So there aren't any major dungeons on this North Continent part, but there are 2 minor dungeons. And we learned from our letter from Lance that we opened up here that Kara, who we need to find, is in Ankor Wat, which is the 5th minor dungeon. But the next progression we would go to Mount Temple, which doesn't look like a mountain and doesn't look like a temple. But here we are anyway. So I'm actually kind of apprehensive about doing the rest of this because the rest of these dungeons are kind of all maze-like, and it kind of gets kind of convoluted. You got to learn the maps. And again, I'm not a runner of this game, so you know, I'm slightly above casual. I've learned a little bit just from doing this. Yeah, no mountain, no temple. Who'd have thought? But anyway, here we are in Mountain Temple. There are 5 items here. You need... Let's see, hold on. Let me get my notes up. Okay. You need Spin Dash in order to even get into this place. You can't... You're just locked out until you get Spin Dash, so don't even bother coming. Once you have Spin Dash, you can get 2 items for free. And then there are 3 mushroom drops in the game, which I have given myself. Mushroom drops, mushroom drops, mushroom drops. So all 3 of these, plus Spin Dash, you can clear this whole thing. So you get 2 chests in the beginning, in the entrance, and then you get additional chests behind each mushroom drop. So your first mushroom drop will give you a 3rd chest, your next will give you a 4th, your next will give you a 5th. And there are also 3 dark spaces here that could conceivably have abilities for you. So I've given myself all the items that I need to progress through the rest of the game. So let's do it. Alright, this first room doesn't have anything. We pretty much go up and to the left to get out of it. Is there any force here? No, there's no force here. No force here either. Okay, you can see on the map, by the way, just to the west of me, there is a dark space that we can get to. I'm pretty sure this one, we go up and around. Yep, so up and to the left. And then we have to use our Spin Dash going down here. There we go, and here's our first dark space that we can check for an ability. And nothing. There's really no need to change into any of these guys because just having will to use the Spin Dash to get around quickly is probably preferable to having the additional attack from these other guys. Watch out for these fire sprites. Am I lined up right here? Yeah. Alright, so you go straight up here. You go down this thing. The first item you can get is over here to the left. This one you go down and around. So pretty much you're going down and left until you can't go down and left anymore. And then you start climbing up and around. Excuse me. Oh, dead end. Get out of here. Is this when I start moving over? No, I go all the way up here. No, I don't. First try. Easy every time. I promise I know I've played this game before. Okay. Yeah, okay, and then killing one of these guys causes this shortcut to open up. This will take you right back to the entrance of this room. So that cuts out that whole loop. But you go around here. Excuse me, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I like that slider. And then there's your first item right there. And because of this shortcut, get out of my way. I may have to give myself some herbs just to survive in this place. So that's the item in that room. The next item is in a room up to the east over here. Okay, and this one you're just making your way east. You're kind of weaving back and forth. Up and down. There's not really a whole lot of opportunity to go wrong in here. But it is kind of easy to miss the item. Hold on. I'm going to need to give myself some herbs. Hey, look at that. Boink. Alright. Alright, so here's the end of it. There's a dark space over here. So having no mushroom drops and just having spin, you get 2 items, 2 dark spaces to check. And this one does have a move. Let's see which one it is. I think Earthquaker is the one move we haven't gotten yet. I'm not going to get good at this game, Val. Those who can't do program. Okay, well that's unfortunate because that turned me into this guy, and so I can't dash my way along here. However, I can cheat and speed up. So you go down as far as you can, you go all the way over here. Here's your second item you can get. Red jewel. Let's get rid of some of these guys. Free up some inventory space. Whoa! Okay. And the way you get back is you take this little ramp here, excuse me, and it does cute little boppies all the way to the end of the map, and you get back over here. Alright. Is this correct? Yeah, you just go straight up, and then that little frayed part right there, here's where you drop your mushroom drops. And that opens up one more item. Get out of my way. Okay. And this one, we go down and around. This fire sprite is the bane of my existence. That's where you drop off your other drops, but we're going to bypass that for now because we're going to go get the item in this room. Alright, this room, you go up. You go through here. If you have will, you can just slide or spin dash through all that. Excuse me. I might death warp out of this anyway because I want to be will. And then here's your item. Another hieroglyph tile. I already have all the hieroglyphs that I want because I cheated and I gave them to myself. But that's fine. The lag is real. Alright, let's take a death here so we can just turn back into will. And you get to see this room again. That's incorrect. Hold on. This is the way we go. Alright, so up there is where we placed our first mushroom drops. Right here. Alright, there's the second mushroom drops. And here's the room that we got the item in. Okay, so we can go back and drop our drops. Alright, and this unlocks one more item. There's where you drop the third drops, but the item is in this room up here to the north. This one, do you go up? I think this one's kind of a maze. Well, the whole thing's a maze, but this one especially. I always get turned around in this one. Let's try going north and see what happens. Yeah, they show you the thing over here, and so they try to bait you into going here to get it, but that's not correct. That's not correct either. Pretty much the rule of thumb is any of these ramps, you're gonna just avoid them and instead go out of your way. Here we go. This looks correct. Yeah, you go east as far as you can, and that'll drop you off onto the ramp that you actually want to use, which is this one. And then you go north, and this takes you right to the chest. There's also a dark space in this room somewhere. I don't remember how to get to it, so good luck finding that. I think it's over here to the east somewhere. That's the entrance to the room over there. Let's do a little bit of exploring just to see if we can find that dark space. Yeah, it's up there. Can we get to it from this thing? I highly doubt it. Oh no, there it is. Okay, that was it. So you just go east into this room, and here's the third dark space in Mountain Temple. Okay. Nope. Maybe someone who knows the game better than I can do one of these another time. But the place where you drop off the drops should be right here. There it is. Third and final drops. Let's get the last item. Alright, so this leads you to one room that's full of fire sprites, and you just gotta weave your way around all of it and get to the final room of the game, or the final room of this area. And here's our final last room. Boom. How's that for cinematic stuff right there? By the way, if Kara is in Mount Cress, which is another name for Mountain Temple, her portrait would end up right here. It'd be floating in the air. And this is where you would use your magic dust, which I also have to give myself. Hold on, I forgot to do that part. Cool. Alright. So, since I don't have any lives, I can just death warp out of here. It takes me right back to the top. No reason not to do that. Okay. So that went better than I thought. Wasn't too bad. Alright, so that's Mount Cress. Now let's go to Ankor Wat. Everyone's favorite. There's one chest you can get for free, but everything else is locked behind both Spin Dash and Psycho Slide. You need both of those. Alright, well the first... Okay, there's 7 items, and there's actually, I think, only one dark space that can have an ability, because most of them are left open because you need to switch back and forth between Frieden and Will in order to progress. Alright, so the first item is up here to the northeast. Just right here. This is a nice quick check that you can get, and Wind Melody is required to get through the first Inca Ruins. Alright, if you have both Spin Dash and Psycho Slider, you can progress to the northeast here. Yep, here's where you need Spin Dash to get through. You gotta kill this guy on the right. Someone told me these guys were OP once, but I don't believe them. Hey, Zercord. Okay, so you come up here, you fall down here. Hope no one has a fear of bugs. Gross. Alright. I think you have to kill another one of these wall guys over here. Alright, am I going the right way? I'm not going the right way. That was all a waste of time. So, forget that. Can we get somebody who really knows the game to do a tutorial for this? Here we go. Here's where we need to go. Alright, here's a place here where you need to use slide, but you need to pick up this item first. Mushroom drops. Hey, that wasn't very polite. The Hulk does make awesome tutorial videos. It's very thorough and very patient. Alright, so this progresses you into a new area. If you come over here and you kill this guy, this will open up a stairway that takes you back to the entrance. So this is great, because then when you come back you can just skip all that stuff we just did. Yeah, spin dash, slide dash. Okay, here's another part that we all hate. Navigating this maze. Those flies are dumb. You can use spin dash in this part if you're really awesome, which I am not. But this takes you to a dark space. So I roughly went west, north, east, back around. And you're supposed to change into Frieden at this point. Time wasting is a good strat. Alright, to progress, I gotta go to this right area. Excuse me, zombie. Excuse me, zombie. Excuse me, zipfly. And here we go. Okay, that went way better than I thought it would. Alright, so to the left here, you need Frieden's ability called Earthquaker in order to progress. But this gets you into deeper into the dungeon. That guy up there, that guy that's waiting up in the upper left-hand corner, if I go walk up to him, then he's going to block the way. I can't get past. But if I use Earthquaker before he does that, then he freezes in place and I can get past him. There's also a way to cheese it if you have Dark Friar. I am not skilled at this. I'm also not skilled at not dying, apparently. I'm going to have to navigate this whole thing all over again. Maybe I can use my spin dash this time. Nope, I messed it up. Alright. Y'all get to see this again. So, if you need help getting through the garden, here's another shot at it. Look, I'm like cheating all over the place even. Like I could be doing save states, I could be giving myself herbs. I'm the laziest cheater ever. This is my problem. It's bad enough that I cheat, but it's worse that I'm too lazy to cheat. That's like even worse. Like, I could give myself infinite health right now. I mean, why don't I do that? Why don't I just give myself all the health? That makes death warping kind of a pain, but we're going to do it anyway. There we go. Okay, so you're supposed to go here to the right. Alright, and you're supposed to kill... Is it this guy? Which guy is it? I think it's the guy on the left here. Nope, it's the guy on the right. You can't reach him with your sword, but if you... Okay, so here's something that is only going to work for the randomizer. You have to kill this guy to progress. He's too far to use your sword. So you have to use Dark Friar. However, if you have the aura and you have Shadow's form unlocked, Shadow's pseudopod or whatever actually reaches far enough to kill that guy. So actually watch the seed where that was required. This whole area, by the way, just opens up a dark space. So if you have all of the moves that you need, there's no need to come up here. Rando strats. That's actually in logic, by the way, so that could be and has been required before. Going up there before you have Dark Friar. Okay, so I'll show you the intended way to do this. Again, you can cheese it using Dark Friar, and actually if you have the second Dark Friar ability, then you can actually cheese it pretty easily. Remember when I said I was going to do this the intended way? I lied. I'm going to do it. I'm going to cheese it for you first. Alright, so if you have the second Dark Friar ability, this is also in logic. If you have Dark Friar upgrade 2, where you can make it go into the fireballs, that could help you progress here as well. The way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to get over here and use the Earthquaker ability to freeze that guy in place so you can just run by it. Alright, keep going north up through here to get a chest. There it is. Inventory is getting kind of clogged. I have one more hieroglyph than I need, so let's get rid of that. We don't need the Mew Palace key. We don't really need that melody either, but we can... Yeah, let's get rid of that. Great. Alright, so when I come back, I'm going to go down the right path to progress. And we're going to come to about the halfway point of the dungeon. Right here. It's not really the halfway point, but this gives you another death point. So if I were to die right now... Actually, a lot of speedrunner strats do this. They actually go through that door, and then they come over here and they die. Which we can speed this up a little bit. Look at that, instant death warp. It actually takes you back to this place, and it turns you into Will, which is who you want to be. So that works out. Okay, Ankor Wat Part 2. Alright, there's one more item that we can get without any additional items, and you get it over here. You bypass that staircase. Let me by, please. And you go to this garden area that's kind of walled off. If you kill this shrubber, underneath him there's a sparkly thing. That's an item. So there's one. In order to progress any farther, you need the black glasses, which are right here. Once you get them, you can just use them, and you're considered to be wearing them the whole time. They're not technically required, like in a hard lock situation. Speedrunners just have that room memorized. It's this room right here. So these crystals are floating around in this room. So this room would be all white if I didn't have the glasses on. By the way, if I drop down here, this takes you to a dark space. You're supposed to come here as Friedan and jump down here and change into Will, because you need Slider in order to progress past this room. Because I death warped, I'm already Will, so I don't have to worry about this. And this dark space will always be open for changing. It will never have an ability in it, so you can just skip that dark space if you don't need it. You would progress through here. If you fall down this hole, you get another item. Some people save it for the end because you have to kind of backtrack through this area anyway later. I'm just going to show you now. HP Jewel. Very nice. This kind of acts, at least in normal, we may change this for like extreme difficulty, but it kind of acts as a super herb. It'll fill up your health when you use it, and it'll also give you one additional permanent hit point. So you're supposed to come back and do this room again. If you're getting the item, going to the left is actually faster. But if you're already got the item, you can skip it. I think there are two more items in Ankor Wat. One of them is in this room. To progress, you fall down that thing, but don't do that yet. We want to go all the way to the west of this room. Using slider is great, or using spin is great for this, because there's an item right here. All right, wait for these guys to go past. Alright, we can navigate this last area right here, and then we're at the very end. We can get our last item. We can rescue Kara, because she's an Ankor Wat in this seed. And that's it. So what Zerkord is saying, that not only am I... Oh wait, no, there's one more room here. Oh, this doesn't count as a room. So you're saying that I'm too lazy to cheat? I'm also too stupid to take advantage of my cheating? Alright, here's the last item. It's an herb. Thanks. And then if you talk to him again, the spirit will give you a spoiler. Sam has a crystal ball. Sam is at the very, very end of the diamond mine. That's the last item in diamond mine. And if you want to check for Kara, there she is. Hey, boo. Hold on. I haven't given myself the magic dust. So I need to remind myself what that is. Okay. Alright, so look, I now have the magic dust. I want to fix this in later versions, so just take this with a grain of salt. But, alright, so I use the magic powder, I spread it on Kara's picture. So when you see this, that means that you've completed the quest. I want to make it so that she disappears when you're done. But believe it or not, for this particular event, that's actually pretty difficult. I haven't figured out how to do it exactly. If you leave the room and come back, she'll be gone. But she won't disappear in this version. Yeah, she's gone. So that means that you've saved her. Technically, I can go finish this seed right now. Because back in the beginning, this particular seed happened to require no statues at all. It said, no statues required. Once you save Kara and you find Aura, which unlocks Shadow's ability, you can just go into any dark space and you're done. You just go straight to Dark Gaia. But I'm going to continue on as if we had to progress through this thing. Alright, so getting out of this place is actually kind of a bear. Probably the fastest way is to find a dark space and use it to warp. Which I think we can get one pretty easily over here. Oh, yep, see, okay. I'll show you that again. From now on, because I've fulfilled all the logic in this particular seed to complete the game, you go to talk to Dark Gaia, and she'll always ask you, are you ready to face Dark Gaia? And you can say no. And I'm going to instead use it to warp back to South Cape, because I don't want to have to go through Ankor Wat backwards. which is the intended way to do it. Okay, so the fastest way to get over to Ankor Wat is probably to travel by sea by going down here. Go to Watermia. Use the will to go to Euro. And if I exit Euro, here I am, I can go back to Ankor Wat. Okay, so that clears everything out of the North Continent. So now the Northwest Continent is well, it's the last continent, but there's actually, you can count Babel Tower as its own continent if you want to. The way to get there, one way to get there, is you go to Natives Village, and we gave this boy the large roast earlier, and he will guide you to Tao. So in the random, that's how you can do it. You can also get there by talking to Neil. Neil lives in this house. And once you restore Neil's melody, he'll show up in his cottage, which is in the southeast continent. He shows up in his mansion in Euro, and he shows up here. And you can always talk to him, and you can go to any of these places from there. Alright, but here's Tao. Tao has 4 items. This person right here actually gives you 2 items. I have enough room, so that's fine. He'll ask if you will, you say yes, and he gives you 2 items. My first item is 3 red jewels, my next one is an HP jewel. Here's a dark space here, obviously. This could have an ability in it. And in fact, in this seed, it does have an ability in it. I just cheated and gave myself all the abilities, so the little jewel isn't showing up, but there you go. So there's 2 items. There's an item if you go all the way to the east, and you go searching these bushes over here. There's an item right there. I have a full inventory, so this is what happens a lot when it's full. It tells you what it is, and it says your inventory is full, so you need to make some room. Actually, I'm going to clean house a little bit. Great. Jeweler is right here, so if you wanted to turn in some jewels or get some of his items, here he is. And then the last item you get here is the snake game, where you say, do you want to play the game with the snakes? You'd say yes, and then you would spend about a minute hitting these snakes back and forth, and you need to get a certain number of them, and he gives you an item. Pro tip, don't ever do this game with a full inventory, because you get to the very end of the game, you'll spend like a minute doing it, and he'll try to give you the item, you have a full inventory, you'll have to leave, do the whole thing again just to get the item. So don't come here with a full inventory, folks. Also, spay and neuter your pets. Okay. The only other place we can go here is the pyramid. The pyramid has 12 items in it. 12. One of them is free, or somewhat free, if you can get past these guys. So if you can get past these guys and kill that one, that opens up the way to this dark space. This dark space will never have an ability, but if you talk to Gaia, she will give you an item. It's a red jewel, because in the game she gives you the aura right here. Inventory management is a big part of this randomizer. Your inventory size is actually accounted for in logic, so that's something that we gotta do. If you go up here, this is the room where we can put all these hieroglyph tiles that we got. The order of these tiles, speedrunners actually know the order, but the order's been shuffled every seed. So if you get Father's Journal, this tells you what order you need to put these tiles in order to fight the Mummy Queen. So let's show you that. So I'm going to use... Alright, and so this is the order that they want you to do. And I have the tracker set up to where if you wanted to, you could set the correct order of these hieroglyphs here on your tracker. and you can actually get rid of it if you want to. Now, that's kind of a dangerous decision, but you can choose to do that. Make sure not to close your tracker. You know, maybe take a screenshot of it or something like that. But just delete it at your own risk. I put it in there that you can delete it for inventory management purposes. Bunch of comedians over here. Okay, so that's one item. So we can get one item from there. You can also use this as a repository to drop off hieroglyph tiles that you accumulate, because they can really clog up your inventory. There are 6 of them in the game, and you can't use them until you get to here. So if you get them early, they're kind of stuck sitting in your spots. And once you have access to DAO, Logic actually considers those spots to be open, because you can come here and drop them off. I'm going to put them in here. Alright, and if I put this last one in, you're going to hear a sound. And you can go in here to fight the Mummy Queen. And Mummy Queen gives you your 5th Mystic statue. I'm not going to be fighting Mummy Queen. Mummy Queen offers you no progression, and she only gives you the statue. So that's how you get that statue. However, there are still 11 items that are buried in Pyramid, and they're all buried behind this item, the aura. You need Shadow's form unlocked in order to progress any farther. Now, I haven't shown this yet, but the real purpose of the aura is when you're a Shadow and you use the aura, you become like liquid and you can go down into lower levels. Okay, so under this east stair, there's an item over here. And it's hidden over on this left side over here. Alright, we go down even farther. Let me pull up my pyramid notes. And we have 6 rooms. And I'm just going to be numbering them 1 through 6, going left to right. Okay, so rooms 1 and 4 require you to be Will in order to complete. 2 and 5 require you to be Shadow. 6 you can choose. Speedrunners usually choose Will because he's faster. 3 you can be either Shadow or Friedan. Friedan, actually, if you have Dark Friar, you can hit a faraway switch in this room that you need to hit. If you want to get all the items in here in a super fast way, I would look up Lehulk's 100% speedrun, because he gets all the items and he gets them super fast. I'm going to kind of follow his order. It looks like he goes into 5 first as Shadow and gets this one chest over in here. I think it's over here. Yep. And looky there. And we can jump in and get to the beginning of here. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. There we go. He then goes into room 3, which is the hardest room. This is the room that has the Killer 6 in it. This only has 1 item at the very end of it. But essentially, I have infinite health, so I can afford to get wrecked by these guys. There's an item over here that you need Will spin dash to get. But if you're doing this room normally, this is what you would do. Do I go right or left here? This doesn't seem right to me. I don't think this is correct. Oh, no, this brought me back to where I started. Okay, so that was dumb. Again, go watch the Hulk's run of this. He'll show you the right way to do it. Alright, so I guess I go left here. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then this room is super linear and super difficult. You just follow everything the way it goes, and you end up with an item at the end of it. I'm not going to do it. I'm actually going to death warp out of here. Actually, since I'm Will, I can go get that item over there, can't I? Alright, so there's 2 items here in room 3. One of them you have to be Will to get, and the other one you have to be either Shadow or Freedan to get. Here's the one you need to be Will. There we go. And we can just turn right back around and go out the way we came. Alright, so room 3 is clear, room 5 is clear. Alright. Then the Hulk goes back into room 5. Because when you get the item in room 5, you're actually forced to warp out. So you have to dip into room 5 twice to get both the items. Speed this up. Speed this up. Taking all the damage. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Alright, I think we went right last time. I think you go left this time. Yeah, this looks correct. Yeah. Am I correct? I don't know if this is correct or not. I think I might have just put myself back where I started. Oh no, this looks right. Let me down. Let me down. Come on. There we go. Here we go. No. Wait, yes. And then there's 2 guys here. That's right. And there's an item there. Okay, so that's room 5 done. Yeah, let's just warp back. That's fine. Room 2 is the last shadow room. So again, if you're a speedrunner, then you wouldn't have died there. You would have probably warped back. And you would have done room 2, which is the required shadow room. Okay, so room 5, 2 items down. You have to enter into it twice to get both of them. Room 2, there are 2 items in here. There's 1 tile and 1 chest. Do we fall down? I don't know if we fall down or not. Alright, I think that was right. Yeah, that was correct. Okay, so there's a chest in here, and then at the end there's a hieroglyph tile. Speed that up. Okay. Oh, that's right. These are back to back. So you get the tile. Father's Journal. Nice. And then you drop down and you get this item. And then you can die to this guy. Kill me, kill me, kill me. Thank you so much. Alright, now you're done with Shadow. Let's start doing will rooms. This is where Lahul goes into room 3 and gets that one item that we already got. But let's just go right to left. Let's go room 6. This is the pick a champion one, but because Will has spin dash, it ends up being way faster. You go in that middle one. Again, middle one. Then it's just a bunch of... was that supposed to go up that way? No, this is correct. Okay. And there's that item. Okay, so only one item in room 6. I probably should have death warped, because then I could have kept my will form. Now I have to change back to Shadow and then change back to will. So that was poor planning on my part. Okay, next he does room 4. Oh wait, you need to be will to do this room. Yep, and yep, and yep. Room 4 has 2 items in it. Has 1 treasure chest, which must be in the second room. I think the rest of these rooms are just dodging enemies as you run past them. Okay, is there okay, yeah, here we go. Alright, so I think pretty soon here you do this, and I think this will take you through most of it. Oops. We want to go here first, because this is a chest. You're going to get ambushed by these guys. Just get in and get out, don't get hit like I did. And then if we go through this room... Oops. Oops. Don't get caught there. That's a newbie mistake. And here's your final item here. And I think you death warp out of this one. Alright, then we have one room left, which is room 1. And there's just one item in it, and then pyramid is clear. Did I get you baited into going into that door, or is that correct? 100% you baited. Okay. So, pro tip, don't go through that door. It leads nowhere. Instead, we're going to go left. Yeah, this definitely looks more correct. It's an appropriate emote for this moment. That's the one where you take the door. Yep. Excuse me, Mystic Balls. You have to use spin to get past here. Excuse me, pardon me. Noob coming through. Thank you. And I think that's it. There we go. That's the last item in the pyramid. All 12 of them. There will never be an ability in the pyramid, by the way. There are 2 dark spaces. There's one up here, and there's one down below. They both need to be open all the time for character transformations. So they'll never have an ability. You're only here to get items, and if you need Mystic Statue 5 to fight Mummy Queen. Alright. That's it for the pyramid. The only place left unexplored is Babel Tower. We're almost done. You can only get to Babel Tower through Neil. So, if Statue 6, which is what you get for completing Babel Tower, if Statue 6 is required, you need the memory melody in order to get Neil to fly you there. Before we go there, though, let's do... let's do the secret dungeon. Okay, so... 27 jewels, huh? Look at all those red jewels I got. Alright, so if you collect enough red jewels to learn this guy's secrets, which for this one is 42 jewels, then he will take you to his mansion. So let's do that. 37 jewels. How many do you want? You want 42? What's that, 5 more? Look at that. Let's... Off we go to the secret mansion here. Hold on, let me heal up first before I do that. There we go. And while I'm at it, let's give me infinite strength and defense. Ha ha ha. Check me out. Come on, what you got? What you got, son? Alright. Alright, so there's a couple things that are significant about this dungeon. One, it has one item in it, and that item could be required. Second, this is a feasible way to skip doing the boss climb in Babel Tower to get Mystic Statue number 6. So if you need Mystic Statue 6, completing this dungeon and beating the boss of this dungeon is an alternative way to get the 6th Mystic Statue instead of beating all the bosses in Babel Tower. Because, okay, here's the item. All the way to the right. There it is. Herb, which is what it is in the game. If you want to beat the boss, you need to have Psycho Slider in order to get under the stairwell. Beyond that, it's pretty linear. You just go back up and around here. And that's the boss. Alright, this is Solid Arm. So again, if you beat Solid Arm, then you will be taken to the very top of Babel Tower. You'll be able to walk into where you get the Mystic Statue, and you can just get the Mystic Statue. Alright, so if you have enough red jewels, and you'd rather do this dungeon and Solid Arm rather than have to beat all 5 bosses again, you can do that. Alright, but for now... I'm going to Death Warp out of here, And we're going to go do Babel the intended way. Alright, so let's go to Neil. Have him take us to Babel Tower. Babel Tower has 2 items, and they are both accessible right at the beginning. You don't need any items to get them as long as you can get here. There's also a couple dark spaces that could have abilities in them. One item is on this pillow. Eyes are recorded, thanks for the alert. And then the other item you get from walking into this force field. Now, this force field is supposed to let you buy if you have the crystal ring and if you have the aura. Actually, you need to be wearing the crystal ring. There, now I'm wearing the crystal ring. But the first time you come here, even if you're wearing the ring, it'll always push you back. An item will fall from your flute, and you can pick it up. Great. And now, since I'm wearing the ring and I have the aura, I can just walk through. But if I didn't have the ring, then I would have to use this dark space to warp back to South Cape, because that's the only way to escape. You can't walk out of Babel Tower. And this could have an ability in it, so we'll check it. Alright, I'm not going to go through Babel Tower. But essentially just know this. As you go up, you're essentially winding back and forth, and you're defeating the 5 bosses one by one. By the way, this first guy gives you a spoiler. If you need one. Oh, Mount Crest End. If it says end, that means it's the very end of the dungeon. So the very last chest in Mount Crest has a red jewel. That can help you if you're trying to decide whether you need to go hunt down, an extra mushroom drop or 2 or not. But you essentially go through. It's very linear. You're just going back and forth up the tower, defeating bosses as you go. There are going to be some of these spirits that are hanging out on different floors. If you ever get stuck, because sometimes you can't backtrack down to previous floors of the dungeon, of the tower. If you get stuck, you can talk to one of these guys, and he'll warp you to the top of the tower, or to the bottom of the tower rather. But again, I'm not gonna do this because it's just fighting bosses, and that's boring. So let's go fight Dark Gaia, because I can do that now. So you just hit yes. You merge with Kara, who you rescued from the painting. The mystic statues that you have collected or not collected give you the ability to merge with her and to unlock the Firebird special ability, which allows you to defeat Dark Gaia. So that's the game. Yeah, let's speed this up. Speed it up. Alright, I think since I have infinite strength, this shouldn't take long at all. Okay, well, my infinite strength isn't really helping me right now, because I'm doing as much damage to him as I normally would. Banger alert. This piece is awesome. Ankor Wat's still my favorite, though. Okay, so after I'm done with this, there's actually one more little easy glitch that I realized after I cut stream last night. It's like, oh, I didn't show the super easy thing. Little sequence break. Yeah, I don't recommend letting him hit you if you don't have infinite defense, but... But it's in Sky Garden. I showed you how So there's that one dark space that's blocked off by those pegs that you can open up, and the game wants you to be freed in, so you can just reach it with your sword from the bottom there, or use Dark Friar. But there's a really easy way to do it as will, if you don't want to go through the trouble of having to go hunt down a dark space in order to change forms. So I'm just going to showcase that real quick because it's super easy, and that's game. Okay, so that's the Illusion of Gaia Randomizer. Those are all of the locations of abilities and items in the game. Thanks a million. Shout out to one of my favorite games, Zelda 2. There you have it. Okay, let's reset this game. Let's go back to Sky Garden. And I'll just show you that one little sequence break. It's not even a sequence break, it's just like a time saver. Real quick, because I feel bad that I didn't show you guys before. Alright, since I have the teapot, I can just go straight to Sky Garden from the Moon Tribe camp. So that's where I'm going to go. Okay, which room is it in? Is it in 3? It's in 3. Yes, it is. Okay, so you're supposed to come in here as Friedan. I've already been through here, so all this stuff is open up. And then when you get up here, there's this switch that you can only reach if you're Friedan, right? Oh, and the switch is open now. So actually I need to change myself into Friedan so that I can... Wow, whiff. So that I can unhit it. Oh, okay. Well, that's... You know what? Forget that. There we go. Okay, back to Will. Okay, so you're in this situation where they're like this, and this means that you can't get to the dark space over here. It's actually not too difficult. If you kind of line yourself up on the top edge of these things, and you do a jump slash, you're kind of standing on these guys. You're going to tap up and down in order to get out of that. Alright, so that's how that works. Alright. Well, that's it, folks. Biddy. That's all. Thanks for watching. Again, thanks for being interested in the randomizer. I hope this was helpful. I might make a more polished one later on without technical difficulties and all that kind of stuff. And also just being better at the game. Or I might just devote my time to just programming and making the game as good as it can be. So probably the latter. Maybe one of the great playtesters of the game. We have a great community over at Discord. Again, type the Discord command if you're in chat right now if you want to join. I'll also put it in the description when I put this up on YouTube. Come join, come playtest, come play some seeds, give some feedback as to some suggestions you have for the game. We now have different difficulty levels that people can play at, and I'm working on an enemizer, and lots of exciting things are happening. And again, it's a wonderful community. We've attracted some really great people. I think maybe liking this game and being interested in this game is already indicates that you're a pretty good person. So yeah, come join us and come play the game. And you all are awesome. I hope you guys have a good night and take care.